This is a fatal mistake that so many business owners make, and I know it well because I did it for a long time. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about a fatal mistake that so many business owners make. I don't even think that they know that they do it. I sure as shit didn't for a long, long time, and it almost led our business to crash and burn. And it wasn't something that I enjoyed going through, that's for sure, but it was a harsh lesson that I needed to learn. Now, for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Michael Mojo. I'm the owner of Mojo Human Performance Institute. We focus on business, mindset, and lifestyle hacking for driven mofos. And the reason why I do this is that most people waste their life, and I just don't want you to be one of them. Now, a lot of people, when they start a business, when they're in the startup stage, they're obviously looking for customers. And so they start onboarding a lot of customers. That's their goal, right? To sell as much as they can, keep the business afloat, make as much money as possible, because that's something that you need. You need a lot of cash flow at first, especially through the growth phase of a business. It does soak up a lot of cash. But a fatal mistake that a lot of business owners make is that they onboard a lot of clients, and they onboard a lot of the wrong clients in that process. And so what can happen over time is you start to get some shitty customer feedback. You might get poor results depending on whether it's a product or a service. You'll start getting complaints, and then things can start going wrong really, really quickly. So you might increase your customer service team. You might need to increase your product development team. You might need to get better staff, or you might think that the staff are the problem. And so you start having high staff turnover. You might not have systems and processes. So at first, business can be a massive clusterfuck, and it's crazy. It can be very chaotic. Now, I find that if you want to build a great business, you need great clients, and those great clients will be the right demographic that you're really looking for. And I've gone through this in some other episodes where I talk about the difference between demographics and psychographics. And the term that I probably should have used then is more of the psychographic, not the demographic. But you want to make sure you're bringing and onboarding the right customers. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is over the last couple of days, I've been doing a lot of phone calls for business owners to help them out. And, I have been onboarding a few people, and for our business and entrepreneurial Odyssey event that we run, our year-long program, which is like a mastermind, but it's not a mastermind, it's an Odyssey. I think that it's way better, but that's my opinion. So anyway, what I know is that when I got to a point where I realized that great customers make great businesses and great businesses have great customers, then it's important to make sure that you don't onboard the wrong customers, because not only can it fuck up your culture, it can screw up staff morale, it can make you question the things that you're doing in your own business as well, and it just becomes confusing. It can be quite chaotic. And I remember years ago when I used to do a lot of national tours. I'm probably going to do one again maybe later this year, or maybe we'll start doing them again early next year. I'm not sure. When I used to do a lot of national tours, and we used to run events for the general public, and we used to do quite a lot of them, we used to just onboard a lot of people. And it was great for Thrive Time, because Thrive Time is sort of like the premier event that I'm known for, which the promise of that event really is, we call it our success Odyssey. And it's all about creating the tools to help people perform better in life, and to get really, really clear on what they want, figure out what fulfills them, and also give them the psychological tools to create, wild amounts of drive, and know when to switch on, when to switch off, and how to navigate life in more of a balanced way. And also it gives them some of the best psychological tools on the planet, especially if you want to be more stable in your emotions and your thinking. So anyway, that was our premier event for a long, long time before we created Triumph, which is our leadership and influence event, and then also our business and entrepreneurial Odyssey. We would onboard a lot of people to come to Thrive Time, and I would notice that there would be a whole bunch of clients that they'd sign up, and 3 months or 4 months down the track, they would, they'd ask for a refund. And when we have no refund policy, because we do a refund, but you've got to come to the event in order to get that refund. If you don't think that the event is worth your while, we will give back your money. And that's for any of our events. But if you just don't rock up, that's because you're fucking lazy. We'll teach you a lesson. And the lesson is that you won't get your money back. And that's just, don't be silly. And don't come to us and expect that we're going to help you to achieve all these great things in life and then just not rock up. That's not a good lesson to teach. And also as well, I hold people accountable. I'm a coach. That's my job, is to hold people accountable to their goals and dreams. If you don't rock up and I give back your money, then I'm subordinating or supporting your shitty patterns and your shitty habits. So we make that quite clear with all of our terms and conditions. So anyway, we would have people do that, and then they would get on social media and blast us and complain and bitch and moan, and we fucking rip people off, and I can't believe you do this. But it was because we were onboarding the wrong people in the first place. Then what would happen is that our team would start to suffer. So our sales would drop, because our sales team would go, shit, we're getting a bit of negative feedback. And it wasn't a lot. It was just, you get a couple of people who make noise. It's like any business. You help 20 people and they go and tell one person, and you get maybe 3 referrals. You have one person who is just an absolute shithead of a person, and they come into your business and they feel like they're getting hard done by, which they're the same people who feel like they get hard done by with everything in life. And they go mental. They post on every social media page. They get on platforms. They get on Google. They go to blogs. They create their own fucking podcasts. They talk shit about you. These people are just naturally self-destructive, and they make a lot of noise. And that's just how it is. What I noticed was that these people who are making noise made our sales team start to doubt themselves, and they're going, shit, is the product good? Is the service good? They didn't realize that out of the, hundreds of people that would attend the events, or even thousands some years, that the majority of them would get awesome results, and that we're making a massive impact. We'd save lives, save relationships. We'd done like some wild shit, but they wouldn't hear about that because, we'd get a couple of testimonials here and there, and a couple of people, when you call them up, they go, oh, it's great, it's fantastic. They're not blasting it across social media. Yet they would see the one or two nutcases go absolutely fucking mental on social media. And so the sales team would start to doubt the product. The marketing team there would also start to doubt the product. Our customer service team would start to freak out, and they would start to doubt it as well. And so what we realized was that great businesses have great clients, and great clients deal with great businesses. And so the onboarding process and making sure you bring the right people into the business is super important. And so what I did was I had to adjust a lot of our sales scripts, a lot of the sales processes that we'd go through in order to make sure we're onboarding people. And it was only yesterday I was on the phone to someone, and they said, Michael, I've heard a lot about you. I've heard that you've done some great things with some people that we know in business, and I'd just love to know some more about it. And I said, well, what specifically, what's the problem? How can we help? And they're like, oh no, I'm just sort of looking. And I was like, but hang on, if you don't have a problem, then we probably can't help, because you're just going to spend money because you enjoy it. You enjoy spending money. And some people buy stuff because they just enjoy it. But the majority of the time, people are trying to solve a problem. And even if you're buying a new pair of shoes or new clothes, you're trying to solve a problem. It's just most people don't think about the products and the services they buy in this way. And so I'm questioning this person. They're just like, oh yeah, man, well, whatever. I just sort of, just want to sort of, I don't really want to grow my business too much, but I'm just sort of maybe looking around and maybe thinking about stuff. And I was like, look, it sounds like you're doing well. I wish you all the best, but I just don't think that, our product or our service is going to fit what you want, because we work with driven people who want to achieve great things. And if you're a business owner, I'm more than happy to take your money, but I just don't think that we can deliver a product that you're going to see as being beneficial to you in the long run. So, I'm more than happy to give you a call back in a couple of months, and we can chat again and see how everything's going. And if anything changes, we can do some stuff. And if not, I get it. And what I noticed was that when I gave myself permission to turn people away, it actually created a better culture, but it also created, and our culture, especially our business and entrepreneurial odyssey, the people in that group are fucking awesome. I love going out, having a glass of wine with them every now and again. Not that I drink a lot. You've probably heard me say that before, but I don't really drink a lot. But every now and again, I'll go out and have a wine with them, or a steak. I think not at the last Odyssey, the one before, I had a glass of wine with the group. But I love going out and having food with them. A lot of them I'll connect with outside. So we'll go catch up for lunch, or go and have a coffee with them, or whatever, because I want to make sure that they're succeeding and achieving, and they pay me well, and make sure that they're looking after our business, and I want to make sure that they look after theirs. And what we found was that when we started taking that approach, we started getting some really awesome people to the event. And about a third of all the people who are part of that business and entrepreneur odyssey have increased their revenue by over $1 million within 12 months. And that's not just because we do a great job, it's because they do a great job. And so together, we both achieve great things for each other. And that's the way that business should be run. But I think that a lot of people, when they're needy in business or they're rushing growth, they will onboard a lot of really shitty customers. And I hear this a lot. I'm chasing all this fucking money because these people won't pay their bills. I can't believe it, bastards. And, they get all upset about this. But what's happening is they're doing work for everybody, whether you like it or not. Not everybody has the same philosophy around money and around paying bills and around, looking after you and around having your back just like you've got theirs. And so you can do the world's best job, and your customers may not give a shit if they're the wrong customers. You may do the job on time. You might have that customer that rings up and they complain, and, I need to get this done ASAP. And so you change around all your calendar and all your schedule and you get everything done. You send them the invoice, and then a week later, you're like, they still haven't paid the invoice. And then you're chasing them up for 2 to 3 months. And you're like, I changed my whole calendar around for this fucking asshole. They still haven't paid me. I can't believe it. But the truth is that you onboarded a shit customer in the first place. And so it's a massive lesson to not onboard the wrong people. If they're not paying you on time, if they're creating too much hassle, it's telling you to dive a little bit deeper into your marketing, into your branding, into your strategy, and into your sales process to make sure that you're onboarding good customers. It's a little bit slower at first, but what will happen is it will grow a lot faster because you'll have a lot better results. results. I know the majority of our customers who do our business event normally refer people to us because they get great results. Now they can say, well, you've changed my business. It's not me that changes their business. I can teach the same tool to 100,000 people, and 10,000 of those people will achieve epic things. A group of people will achieve reasonably well, and then there'll be a group of people who nothing changes. That's what you want to segment, is who are the really great people who are great customers who really do a service to your business, and you add value to them and they add value to you. When you do that, your whole business will change, and you watch what happens. You might even get back some color in your hair instead of just going gray all of a sudden because you've started a business and you've got to deal with all these shitty customers. And that happens, it's just part of a process that a lot of business owners need to go through and learn. But just remember, great businesses have great customers, and great customers deal with great businesses. And so those two things work hand in hand. If you're a shitty business and you deal with shitty customers, then both of you are just going to have shit. If you're a great business and you consistently deal with shitty customers, eventually the business will become shit because it'll be chaos, and your staff will start doubting whether your business has a great product and service because you'll have to listen to a whole bunch of clowns whinging all the time. So I think this is why luxury brands do such a great job of this, because if you're going to go drop a really highly expensive amount on something, normally the service and the quality of everything that you get is way better. Now, every now and again, you're going to have that one shitty person who complains, but I know, like, if I buy something that's 10 times the price of something else, I normally know that the quality of customer support and service is way better, because that's part of what you're paying for. When you're price comparing and you want the cheapest thing that you can get, and you expect high quality service, and then you bitch and moan because you didn't get great quality service from a low price point product or service provider, what do you expect? But most people just don't think through that. They're like, I want it cheap, but I want the best. And those two things normally aren't related, or they don't relate that well together anyway. They're almost like repulsors of each other. So it's just something to think about. I hope this helps, Driven Mofos. If you haven't already done so, make sure you jump across to my socials, hit me up, let me know if you're liking these episodes. I'd love to know what's been like your greatest learning so far. So jump across to any of my socials. It's Michael Mojo 00 on any social media platform apart from Instagram. But if you type in the little search box, Michael Mojo 00 or Michael Mojo, it'll normally come up with my profile. Hit the follow and subscribe button or the like button, because I do drop a lot of other extra content in there. But I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you're getting from these episodes, and let me know what your greatest learning is. I'd love to hear from you. I love connecting with people in the community. Anyway, stay driven, Driven Mofos. Never underestimate the dream.